Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Let's go to Ethan in Kalamazoo. Hey, Ethan. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi. How can we help?
So I just had some questions. So I just turned 18 and I graduated a couple months ago, and I just don't really have any idea like what to do with my money.
Okay. So you're 18 years old, graduated from high school. What are you doing now? Are you in school? Are you working?
I'm a pipe fitter and a pipe welder.
Okay, good for you. How much are you making?
I make $20 an hour, so about $2,400 a month.
Okay. Good for you. Are you living at home or are you on your own?
Yes, ma'am.
You're at home? Okay. Awesome.
How much money do you have?
Right now I have about $3,000 saved up in a checking account, and then I have, I think, $2,500 in a money market, and then I have another $300 something for bills.
Okay. And do you have any debt?
No, sir.
Great. And what's your question?
So I was just like wondering, because I feel like my whole life people said renting like apartments was like super bad and stuff, and then I heard a couple times from you guys that renting apartments isn't always the worst idea, and I just figured since I'm young I don't want to get in any debt ever. It scares me now after I've watched your guys' shows for 10 hours a day, and so I was just like wondering like what's okay to be in debt for and like what's not okay.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, if you've listened to the show for 10 hours a day, you'll know that we are anti-debt all the way, anytime. We don't think there's any such thing as good debt. And the only debt we don't yell at you for is a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage that you're attempting to pay off early. So outside of that,
Yes, sir.
we don't believe there's any good debt, that it should be leveraged, that it's some kind of tool. We've only seen it cause pain and harm in the long term, and the ones that brag about it just haven't been burned yet. And so at 18, man, if you can get a hold of those principles now, you're going to be unbelievably wealthy.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a great life.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the renting thing, Ethan, yeah, we're not against renting. I mean, renting buys people a lot of patience and gets them in a position financially then to be able to put a good down payment on a house, get out of debt, do some things. And where a lot of people feel like it's just throwing your money away, for us, there's a level of risk that you don't have when you don't own a home, because owning a home, I mean, it can be expensive. I mean, you're, from roof issues. We just had our chimney had to be completely basically redone in the inside. And so they've been working all week at that. We had stuff with our roof last year, appliances go out. I mean, it's just, there is so much that you pay for as a homeowner. When you rent, you don't have that expense. So there's a beauty to that, right? We eventually, Ethan, want you to have a house, because owning a home and real estate being part of your overall financial picture is a great thing, and we are all about it, but we want you to do it the right way. But you're 18, so my question for you is, are you going to school? Are you going to do trade? Are you going to be doing this job, do you think, for the near future? Are you happy living at home? Do you want to be out on your own? Where are you at with just your life stages right now?
It would be nice to be out on my own, but just like the apartments in my area, like just a studio, those cost about like $1,100 to $1,300 a month, and that's well over half of my monthly income right now.
Yeah.
I don't really plan on going to school. The place I work for, they do an apprenticeship, and so hopefully I'll start that up in September.
Okay. And will that cause a raise to occur?
Yes, ma'am.
That's great. What will you think you'll be making?
I'm hoping they'll give me another $1, so about 21.
Okay.
But the thing is in 4 or 5 years, when I'm done with the apprenticeship and once I become a journeyman, I'm expected to make around 50 an hour.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You'll be 6 figures by then.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
so great, Ethan. So what I wouldn't be in a rush with the housing situation. I mean, I think eventually you'll get to a point, maybe when you're 19, 20.
And go get a roommate. That's what I had, roommates up until I was married.
Yeah.
And so get a 2-bedroom, and
That's
it
a
may
great
be
point.
$800 or $900 a month if you split it, and go do that for a while, and that will give you a sense of independence. It'll help you learn how to be an adult. And Dave always says that an eagle that doesn't leave the nest is eventually a turkey. So it's good.
And I don't think
it's good for your spirit.
It is.
If you can get out.
But Ethan, I feel like such a mom right now. Where I'm like,
Ethan's
but I'm
a
like,
good boy.
he's only been out of. You haven't. I mean, I guess it'll be coming up on a year. Did you graduate last May from high school?
No, I graduated early, so I graduated right before Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Okay, so you've only been out of school for 3 months, right? Out of high school.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah. I just feel like you're just so young. I'm like, you don't have to go live on your own apartment right now.
No, but if he's saying that's something he wants to do,
yes,
I don't want people to feel like, well, once I get out, I need to go buy a house.
That's right. No. Yeah. And if you want to go and rent an apartment and go do it, that's great. But I do feel like you've had a lot of life shifting and you're learning how to be an adult right now. And if you don't have to pay for rent right this moment, and
yeah,
I think that's a great thing. But I would have plans to move out, right? To get to your point, George. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're at home,
it brings dignity.
I would save every single penny.
Yes.
This is such an amazing season where you don't have many bills. And what happens, and I lived this out when I was 18 living at home, is I started working and I just spent every paycheck because they didn't have bills. I was like, what else are you going to do? I'm 18. Let's go have fun. And I just bought gear and stupid crap, and I could have been saving and I could have been paying off student loans, but I was just being an idiot.
Just an
18-year-old
old lad.
chucklehead.
Just a little lad, George.
You won't
It's
be
okay.
me, Ethan. You're going to do great.
No,
but here's the thing. Pay cash for your next car. That's where 18-year-olds go wrong. So what are you driving now?
I have a Ford Ranger.
Is it doing well for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty reliable. I've had it for almost 2 years now.
Cool.
So great. Yep. So yeah, I would do what George said. Just stockpile some money. Have a date to say, okay, by I don't care when it is, September or something, 6 months from now or whatever, I'm going to really seriously look at moving out, being on my own. And honestly, Ethan, I think there is something about when you work and you're not in school, you do feel more like an adult, right? I mean, like there's a sense you're bringing in a bunch of money and you're gonna, that itch to move out will probably happen sooner than later. I just don't want you to feel like you have to rush out right now because you've just had a lot of life change. But have a date, talk to your parents about it too, and just over communicate with them, like, because you sound like a very responsible guy, and so I think having that plan is great. And that money market account is a great place to be doing your emergency fund. So I would build it up to 3 to 6 months of expenses, which it will increase when you move out because you'll have housing and all of that. But just be putting money away in that money market account. And I think just be saving and avoid debts, and then be looking at investing soon after you get that emergency fund. I mean, there's some things you can be doing. If you hold on the line, Ethan, I'm going to give you George's book, Breaking Free from Broke, because he does a great job laying out so many of the myths in our world today when it comes to money and our culture and our generation. And I think as you start diving into adulthood more and more, you're going to hear more and more opinions about money. And George does a great job refuting. Is that the right word?
Oh, yeah. Great word.
Thanks. Man, really
yeah,
pulled that one out. Refuting a lot of the myths and the lies that people have fallen into.
It will keep you away from debt for the rest of your life. I promise you. If you read that book, it makes you want to take a shower when I just lay out the facts. And Ethan's already right there, but it's easy at 18. You start working. You feel like you need to increase your lifestyle, and you start comparing.
And
My
you hear all
buddy
this
just got
stuff, and
he just got a Camaro. You got to just turn down the noise on all of that and focus on your goals. That's what the kids want these days.
Sports, really?
I don't know why.
Are Camaros the thing?
I saw some nods out there. The 18-year-olds love a Camaro. They love a little muscle car.
Who knew? Bringing it
I got
back.
my finger on the pulse, Rachel.
Man, you know what's going on, George. You're
I'm
so
a car
hip.
guy.
So hip.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.